Kayo, 88.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing today? Where'd the music go? Is it kind of stinky in there, Kaio? Gonna wake up with a big old headache. All right, so how many of you guys have had a chance to check out Kitten Space Agency yet? That's a neat trick, Unka. So, Kyra, you all moved in? All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are checking out Kitten Space Agency, the spiritual successor to Kerbal Space Program, being developed by RocketWorks.
Hello.
Adam!
Hello.
What's up, Adam? Thank you so much, man, for that resub. I appreciate it. One free month, or what are you going to do with that extra money? I mean, depending on what the rent runs, and I'm guessing. All right, so do you also get does your rent like frozen? Because once they get that river up and running again, you're gonna be in prime real estate, baby. It's nice. Also, and since we passed the halfway mark with funding, I went ahead and ordered the chair on Friday. It was supposed to take like a week to a week and a half to get here, but it only took 2 days. It showed up today, so I'm in a flippin' chair, a proper chair, one that's not broken. It feels weird to be able to lean back. So thank you, everybody that helped contribute toward that. I still got to pay it off, finish paying it off, though. Right, still need another couple $100 to go, but man. All right, so this is not the first expensive chair I've had. I've had one before. I had a Vertigear PL 5000 or PL 6000, whichever one was the more expensive at the time. That chair now is like $900. It's like gone up like double in price. That flipping chair lasted me 3.5 years. After the first year and a half, I had to have the whole back replaced and the seat replaced under warranty. And then wouldn't you know it, 2 years later, it was toast again, completely broken. And then I've gone through 2 other less expensive chairs. The last one, $400 chair, and it didn't even last a year before it broke. But this one so far, man, this dude puts that the more expensive Vertigear to shame. Like seriously, all the packaging, all the fit and finish of this thing. So now it's just a matter, you know, will it hold up? And the seat bottom is rather firm, which I like. Some people don't like that. I do. Right? Especially if you have to sit in a chair for long periods of time. Like I'm generally in this chair for at least 12 hours a day. Right? Between streaming and doing everything else, you know, for the stream, plus just using my computer for whatever, right? I spend a lot of time in this chair or in this spot. You know, and most chairs I realize are only designed around to like 2 to 4 hours at a time being in a chair. Right? 2 to 4 hours a day. Well, my ass needs to be in this chair a hell of a lot longer than that. But yes, this is very nice. And everything's like magnetic, which I'm not even sure how to release this. Oh, just like that. Okay. But yeah, everything's like magnetic. So everything just like locks into place. All the cover pieces are all magnetic. Very nice. It was easy to put together. It's silent. The casters are completely silent. I mean, it really makes it, you know, like that Vertigear. And the reason I chose this chair is I did use ChatGPT to, you know, to search back at least 5 years, you know, and base it off of 5 years of data for different chairs within a price range. And I didn't specify gaming chair. I just said chair, right? Or office desk chair. And it's what came back. Always came back to this. I would say, all right, compared to this type of chair, that type of chair, it always came back to this. So, very nice. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so, Kitten Space Agency. Why kittens? I don't know, man. From what I read an article with one of the developers that used to work at SpaceX. He used to be a flight engineer at SpaceX. He wrote the flight software for the Falcon 9 rocket. Well, worked on it, right? He's part of a team, obviously, but worked on the flight software. Who now is working on Kerbal Space Program. Basically, kittens were the least quote unquote bad option. Right, so this is Hunter. Meet Hunter. Everybody say hello, Hunter. Oh, also, there's new emotes.
You're welcome.
All right, so it's kind of creepy because, as Onka pointed out, I didn't even notice it at first, Onka, until you said it. But yeah, he's always looking at the camera, so
He is always staring at you.
all right. How come I can't get him to? Roll. Oh, he's rolling. Very slowly, but he's rolling. Hey, there's Taipei. Hi, Taipei. I hope, though, that they actually do keep the real solar system as an option. Right? I know they're planning on building out a fictional solar system, but I hope they keep the real solar system as an option. But yeah, so new emotes are go, no go, Miko, even though Miko's kind of hard to read. I did the little blue emote salute because there's no salute emote on Twitch. I did not realize that. Right, and then I did a NASA worm logo NARF. Or a NASA worm lettering, but it just, you know, reads NARF. Yep, there we go. All right, so he does have expressions, except, all right, so he's rolling around that axis. How do I get him to roll around his lung axis? Like that. It just needs a longer burn. Okay. All right, so whether or not they stay with kittens, I don't know. I'm gonna be moving away from... Okay, so that rotates him around that axis. How do I rotate him around? Because I want to go to that vehicle. Have him come back around here for a moment. All right, so now he's laying on his back. Where'd the rocket go? Oh, I've lost the other rocket. I mean, obviously I can do it this way. He's staring at this. There's the other one, because they're all like in alignment when you first load in. Zoop. There's Tokyo over there. Where is... There. Not it. Ha! That's what I'm looking for, right there. Oh, we're in a pretty high orbit, man. Like a really high orbit. All right, so out of curiosity, what do you guys want to see? Because there's not really a whole lot here yet. And some of this I'm not quite sure, because like I tried to go to the moon and it's not like I can't like right click on it. There's no option for that. All right, if I double click left, it zooms in on it. But I'm not sure exactly how to set this as a target. Like to say, hey, I want to go there. Cake, there isn't any yet. There is no building yet. Ah, okay. Ah, destination. There we go. Okay. You debug. Editor toggle. Well, what I meant was is there's no editor yet. Not really. Not like with like KSP. Most of what I've seen is people have been adding in or modding in entire vehicles at once. Okay, so that's a transfer planner, which I don't want now. Try closing some of this out. Let's see what happens here. Try it one more time. It's bugging out. It is not liking it. Yeah. Oh. Wow. It is not liking it. In fact, OBS isn't even capturing what I'm seeing. In fact, what OBS is capturing, I can't even see unless I look at OBS. Right, so I can see a list of some of the parts in OBS, but what all I have on mine is just empty, is just space. Right, skybox, that's it. Yeah, when it happens, all I see is skybox. That's it, and the top menu bar is all I'm seeing. But I am seeing like a parts list, as I said. It's getting captured by OBS. But yeah, so it must be something with the Windows system, right? And this the other thing too is like expect lots of bugs. Oh, don't use it in map view. Okay, not in map view. All right. Well, now I can see the craft. Well, now OBS is capturing what I'm seeing, but I'm not. Okay, that was weird. Now it's part list in OBS, and all I have is the vessel. It is not liking this. Cake, I'm sure somebody has, because I saw somebody had brought in a an X33 model. All right, so how do I reattach this? I pulled it off. In the parts list window. Do you mean the one that I can't see? All right. Well, I lost the because we pulled that off. I lost that stage. Let's time warp to daylight again here real quick. Oh, dude, Kaio, this is too early for anybody to jump in, really. Except for a developer. Some of the UI stuff can be rescaled. Right, like I can rescale the nav ball, but I cannot rescale this. This giant panel over here. I can move it around, but I can't rescale it. Oh, there it goes. Everything else I was able to rescale, but that, so you have to go to the bottom right corner. Okay. Because that panel is just gargantuan. Thank you. Because before I was doing this and it wasn't doing anything. All right, so bottom right corner. Some of these windows are absolutely gargantuan. Cake, yes. I do hope though that it gets enough support to be able to continue on, and I can't really this does not like alt tabbing, at least not on the same monitor. Let me go to this. By the way, this is free to download for anybody to try, just FYI. But yeah, it's up to $60,000 in contributions. That's not even going to cover one developer for a year, so. Holy crap. Some people, though, are really putting down some big money, though. Like, I mean, there's like, I'm looking at a couple of, you know, $1,000 plus donations, or what they're calling contributions. Right, but 60 grand is nothing. Right, as I said, that doesn't even cover one developer's salary. So, but I'm sure though, as they go along, as they start adding more features and everything to this, I'm sure that number is going to go up. Because they're trying something different with the distribution of this. Right, and just so you're aware, when it was last reported, before Take-Two sold off Private Division, KSP 1 had sold nearly 4 million copies. I don't know how many KSP 2 sold. But KSP 1 sold almost 4 million copies. If I remember correctly, I think it was like 3.7 million copies. And that's before they sold it. I believe it was close to 3 million copies before they sold it, before Take-Two bought them. Or bought, well, I shouldn't say that because they didn't buy Squad. They bought, and which was dumb. They should have bought Squad. Not just the rights to the game. Because they...
Up hard.
Hunt to me. What's going on, man? Cake, different hat. What do you mean? Oh, you want to see kittens? We're gonna have to time warp to sunlight, but it's time warp to sunlight. But yes, meet Hunter. But Cake, what do you, there's a stream delay, so I didn't catch what you're referring to with different how. So what's going on, Hunt to me? How you doing tonight, man? Yep, so this is Hunter. I'm guessing Hunter is the Jebediah Kerman of Kitten Space Agency. Ish. Like hard-ish. Oh, okay, yeah, distribution. Okay, yeah. So they're distributing it through that website, that link right there. So it's not gonna, they're not gonna put this on Steam, right? And they're not charging anybody for it. However, they are accepting, you know, contributions, or they're calling it contributions, but it's basically donations, right, to help continue funding development. And it's obvious that they're looking for educational partners, you know, grant money, or because they want this to also be an educational product, right? Like KSP1, I don't know if you're aware of it, but KSP1 for a while had a different branch. And it was literally KSPE, right? It was KSP Educational, right? And it had slightly different menus. It had it had different parts in it, and it was actually set up for educational purposes, for teaching. And some of the tools in it, I actually wanted them to bring into the you know, commercial side of it, I guess is the better way to put it. And we did get some of it. The making history parts, those are all part of the educational version. Bullet! What is up, Bullet, man? I have not seen you in a hot minute. Bullet, everybody is. You're not the only one. All right, so Bullet and anybody else? On to me. Thank you so much, man. Narf. Oh, by the way, if you guys missed it, there is. There you go, Narf. The NASA worm lettering I used to make a Narf. Bullet, yeah, they're not using a traditional game engine, right? So they're not using Unity or anything else. It's basically a framework engine. It's something that they're calling Brutal, that they developed in-house, and basically they can make different modules to put into the framework for whatever they need for a given game. Not too dissimilar from what Star Citizen ended up doing with Star Engine, right? All the different pieces of the game engine for Star Citizen are different modules, right? So they can upgrade or change out modules without having to do without affecting the entire game engine. And one of the big issues with, like, for example, like with what happened on KSP2, nobody that worked on KSP1 worked on KSP2. Nobody from Squad worked on KSP2. In fact, they were kept in the dark that it even existed for quite some time. Right? And it turns out in hindsight, because they kept saying that KSP2 didn't share any code with KSP1.
Or shit.
Well, it turns out It was literally built on pre 1.0 code originally, which is why there were so many of the same goddamn bugs, right? Bugs that KSP1 had solved, and or issues that it had figured out, like wobbly rockets, all that stuff. All of it, all of those early bugs reintroduced because they were using an earlier version that they were given, to start on. Right, so that was issue number one, is started from a base. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using code from KSP1, other than the fact that some of it was kind of spaghettified, because, they were teaching themselves. Like, KSP1 was literally Kerbal together, right, through trial and error for the most part, because nobody on their initial squad team had ever developed a game before. Right, and Squad was original, and in fact it still is, it's an internet marketing company, not a game developer. It started as a side project, right? And KSP1 was like lightning in a bottle. And they tried to do the same thing with KSP2, and that's a once in a lifetime thing. It's never going to happen again. Behind me, yes, type in exclamation point KSA. Yeah, and Bullet, if you missed it, you can also you can download it for free, right? You're not required to contribute to download. Just note though that it is very bare bones, right, type of thing at the moment. Which one is this? Is this the other complete rocket? Yeah. All right. So like time warp controls are still kind of the same. The translation controls. All right. So if you've ever used the docking camera in KSP, who uses the damn docking mode, right? The controls work that way, right? For translation, for rotation and translation. Come on, daylight. Where is this thing? Why is this thing running at... Ooh, why is our speed changing with camera rotation? Okay, well, that's broken. Yeah, so you can't leave the solar system, which I guess I accidentally did. Right, you can't... It causes things to break down. You cannot leave the solar system. What, was I on the surface? Our speed, yeah, we're approaching, yeah, dude, our speed is... Wait, our apoapsis, are we on the ground? No, we're not on the ground. Maybe? I don't know. It's hard to say. Mosquitoes again. Dude, even cold weather does not affect these mosquitoes. They still hang around. Oh, I think we're inside the planet. I think we're underneath the... Underneath. I think is what's happened. Cake, re-entry? Re-entry is... not that much of a game. It is more of a... interactive historical experience, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, you can kind of sort of fly some of the vehicles, kind of sort of in a way. But it's more about like just the experience of what it was like to be, you know, in the capsule, you know, for Mercury, Gemini, right? I mean, when I say you control, you know, so a lot of the stuff is, you know, some of the stuff is automated. I don't know if you can actually manually fly to orbit. I didn't mess with it enough to be able to see if you could even try to do that. I know the rendezvousing you can do by hand. So you're actually flying, but most of the orbit stuff, going to orbit, I did it with a Mercury and Gemini, and it was automated to get to orbit. But I didn't. But I was doing the training missions, so maybe I didn't dive into it enough. It's pretty slow going and a lot of reading. Yeah, it's saying 5 meters, but right now we're facing straight down. I think we're in the water. Orbital velocity now ball is weird. I find that so strange. You got up to 19.6 kilometers a second. Oh yeah, we're going way out there. All right, so Cake, were you asking about reentry in this game or reentry for the game reentry? I give you a response for the game of reentry. The reentry for this is there's nothing there yet. Which I'll have to reload it here in a second. There goes Moon. Luna. Because we basically put our... Oh, we just left the sphere of... the sphere of influence of Earth. We're now in a solar orbit. Alright, let me reload this real quick. Alright, so when you first load this up, you can load up with Earth only, Earth and Moon, or Solar System. Just so you're aware, the reason these options are here is this thing uses an epic amount of VRAM. Right, I mean, this thing, so... I think it just, like Earth and Earthways, I think it uses like 8 gigs of VRAM. Right, I think mine 3080 Ti has 12 or 16 gigs? I don't remember. Right, but we're going to load in the whole solar system. And just so you're aware, even if you load in the whole solar system is not here. Right, a lot of them don't have any textures or any of that in there. Right, here it kind of gives you a little bit where, you know, left bracket, right bracket to put between the vehicles. And, you know, the controls are what they call traditional. Ground tracking with F3. I have not tried that yet. Aha! Ground track! What were we talking about the other day when we were doing, launching up our geostationary satellites in Kerbal Space Program? Right, what was one of the things that I said that I wanted? In KSA?
Bingo.
Our ground track. We have a ground track. All right, I don't know what, like, ahead and behind, I find this weird. Okay, orbital horizon behind. Nose points towards receding orbital horizon. Up points away from the surface. Okay, I'd rather just have retrograde, prograde. So behind is retrograde. All right, and we don't want a re-entry burn here because we'll end up landing on the dark side. All right, so let's time warp a little bit. Over here, and I need to make these a little bit smaller because they're flipping billboards. And I'm sorry. To me, the most important thing is the nav ball. It needs to be in the middle. Car toys! What's going on, Car Toys? How are you doing this fine day? Evening. Yep, we're on the dark side, so you're not going to see a whole lot here for a moment. All right, where was that other... Oh. Settings. All right, where the hell did I find that other window? They gave me the periapsis, apoapsis. Where the hell was that at? There. Ah. Okay, rise and level. Okay, makes a little bit more sense. But where is like retro? Oh, under over. Okay, there we go. All right, we want to do our re-entry on a daytime side, so. And where is throttle control? I know there is throttle control. I just don't know where it is. Oh, it is not liking me moving this window around. But there is a throttle control. I know there is, because I found it once before. Now for the life of me, can't remember where it's at. Throttle is up and down. You mean like up and down arrow keys? Ah, yes. Okay, arrow keys. All right. 5.4. Wow, look at that. Thrust to weight ratio. Good lord. All right, that'll give us a 16-degree or a 16-kilometer periapsis. That'll work. All right, now we can flip back around retrograde. I don't like that it has to burn the entire time. That uses up a lot of fuel. All you gotta do is start the roll, let it go through it, and then stop it on the other side. It's doing like the KSP SAS version of orbital maneuvering. All right, falling down through 200 kilometers. Hundred 80 kilometers. $140. And we just hit Atmo. Armin line. Where's daylight, man? Impact shows us now in the nights that, wow, we're really decelerating hard. Okay, so let's go with engine shuts off if you go to map view. Boy, our impact point is not changing much. There we go. I don't want that to zoom out. All right, so now we'll see. Should see daylight. As our rocket tumbles ass over tea kettle here. All right, falling through 85 kilometers altitude. Is their speed gonna come down at all? Yes, it is falling. Okay. It's because I was in the wrong mode. We have some wind sound effects. Oh, it really slamming on the brakes now. Where's our G meter? Oh, right there. G-force. I missed how many G's we were pulling because I was trying to figure out where G's were listed at. And splashdown. Ish. Ish. Okay, so let's see if we can't do this. Okay. All right, we're going to launch and see what it looks like. Except I'm going to... All right, 2.0, TWR2. Whether that's with atmosphere or without atmosphere, that I don't know. All right, keep that unbalanced. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Wrong way. Oh, wrong way. I keep going the wrong way with it. All right, so that gave us. Oh, I was also in still, I think, under time acceleration. All right, so that gave us a apoapsis of 219 kilometers. Trying to manually fly to orbit in real scale is a little challenging. All right, time to apoapsis is. I have time at periapsis and time since periapsis. I do not have time to apo. We know our apoapsis is at 219 kilometers, so as we approach it, we're just gonna leave this thing facing retrograde and ignite. With a 3WR at 3.3, we'll get there pretty quick. Punch it. Die, mosquito. Orbital period's up to 64 minutes. As we approach 90 minutes, we'll be orbit. We're at 7 kilometers a second. 7.6 is what we're looking for. All right, we have a positive apoapsis. There we go. Our orbit is 257 over 188. But hey, we did our first launch to orbit in Kitten Space Agency. We are on orbit. We did a water launch from the surface into orbit. All right, face it around retrograde. Anybody know why most spacecraft fly through space retrograde? Anybody know? Yes, I'm testing her now. Somebody's knowledge. F4 is the transfer planner. Destination Luna. All right, now can you automate this process, Onkun? Do you know? Ah, like that. Okay. I knew I saw it somewhere. All right, warp to burn. All right, it doesn't like it when there's anything near the edge of the screen for some reason. All All right, we're back into real time. Burning here in 25 seconds. All right, we're going to the moon. Hey, what is going on there? Oh, there we go. All right, so now if I wanted to bring that transfer planner back up, didn't like something. I saw a bunch of red text. Okay, yeah, most likely would be my, that would, I mean, that's a pretty good guess. I say, is it going to be dark the whole trip? I hope not. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that would confuse the shit out of OBS. Really? It's going to be 62,501 kilometers up from moon? How big is moon's sphere of influence? All right, and if I want to capture, Starguard! How's it going, Scarguard? All right, somebody just joining us. We actually landed on the surface of Earth in the water. We did a launch to orbit, and now, well, I did a manual flight to orbit, and now we're doing an automated flight to moon. Or at least the lunar flyby, I should say. Mooner flyby. Lunar. We're going to Luna, like Earth's moon. Kerbal, too much Kerbal terminology. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. New chair.
Thank the gods.
I can lean back. You have no idea how good it feels to lean back. Ah, lean back. Ugh. My back and my legs, because my leg, I had the other chair because it was broken in the back. I had to sit so far forward on it that it was like my legs were like even starting to hurt for long periods of time. This chair is really comfortable. And I haven't even messed with the lumbar shit. I forgot about it. Sitting in a broken chair, even for a few months, just because I spend so much time in it. It's weird to have a chair that's not broken. All right. There's a wait, there it is. There's Moon. There's also the field of view seems really narrow. Can't I change that? And I have it set to 90. I think I increased it because I think it was like 50 some odd degrees. It was like something really narrow by default, I think, originally. Yeah, there's Moon. Because then at 90, with an ultra-wide monitor, it makes it a little weird. Because in this game, it definitely fisheyes when you do this. Let's try setting that to 60. Skagard, have you messed around with Kitten Space Agency yet? At all? There's the Moon. That's where we're headed. Did it resize these on me? It did, and it moved them back around. Okay. Casino Cop, how you doing? It is not using the Unity engine. It's using a custom setup, something they call Brutal, and it's not really a game engine in a traditional sense. It's just a framework, and then they can build out different modules and put it into the frame based on what they want to do. Right? So basically, think of it more as like a modular engine. And that's one of the issues when it comes to space games, that unless you're going to use a custom engine, most off-the-shelf engines don't work all that great for space games, because space is
really flippin' big.
Right, and 3D coordinate mapping, you need a lot more decimal places in order for everything to be accurate with each other in a game engine. Right, the further the distances are away, and especially the faster you can travel between them. most off-the-shelf game engines don't really work all that well. Unity was probably the best choice for an off-the-shelf option for both KSP1 and
The game that shall not be named.
but even then takes some customization. All right, so Casino Cop, the short answer is no. It is not using the Unity engine. It's using something that they just call it Brutal, which is what they call it. Why they came up with that name, I don't know. MGB, yeah, it does. Well, they're still building it out, so I would imagine that Brutal is difficult to use, right? Brutal Boat Slam Edition. So we're in the middle of a lunar transfer. That's like the third time now that I've done that. And believe it or not, we're in 10x fizz or 10x time warp. There is no fizz warp with this. It's just straight time warp. MGB, yeah. Everything I saw so far is people are just modding in entire vehicles. And as I said, the only resource I think is in the game so far is propellant. And Casino Cop and anybody else, if you're interested in taking a look at this, if you type in chat, type in !KSA, it'll take you to the website that you can download the game and try it for free. It really isn't a game yet. It is just a tech demo with a lot, with some placeholder stuff in it. All right, let's go to 120 times. All right, so anybody just joining us, I landed this in the water, in the ocean somewhere on Earth, and then we actually did a launch into orbit, and then I set up a maneuver to transfer us to the moon. So now we're in the middle of actually transferring to the moon. And if anybody has never played RSS-RO in KSP, the moon is
Really far away.
and I even went to 600 times speed. Everybody say bye Earth. This doesn't really feel like 600 times speed. I'm glad it's actually a completely clean sheet design. You know, and I'm not, I mean, they keep calling it, you know, the spiritual successor to KSP1, but I don't know how much they want to associate with KSP1 other than, you know, the pedigree of the developers that are working on this one that came from KSP1. Right? You want to stay away from, I mean, KSP2 kind of destroyed the Kerbal name. Right? I mean, it really, like, I mean, it took an axe to it. Oh, good. That's what it was looking like to me. That's why I didn't set it up yet. Right, and whatever the holding company is that bought KSP, I mean, if they choose to actually build a development for it or whatever it is, ditch KSP2 and do a KSP1 remastered. Right, clean up the code where possible to, you know, improve performance. You know, a graphics pass. You know, get a license for what Lynx and BlackRock have done. And just call it Kerbal Space Program Remastered, right? To get rid of that shit. Tesla! It was a bad fever dream, yes. So what's going on, Tesla? How you doing today, buddy? Yeah, or MGB, yeah, KSP remastered, return to flight. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And there's clearly more than room enough in the genre if they do it right. I mean, as I said, Kerbal KSP1 before Private Division was sold off, KSP1 had sold just a little under 4 million copies. Right, something like, I believe, like 3.7 million copies, it said in the minutes. And I know it sold close to 3 million copies before Take-Two even bought it. Dyslexic! What's up, man? Tesla, yeah, well, KSP2 you really can't do anything with. I mean, it would need to be shit canned and start over from scratch. And if you're gonna do that, well, here's Kitten Space Agency for you. What's going on, Dyslexic? How you doing today? And Tesla, man, how you been? Haven't seen you in a hot minute either. Well, Dyslexic we've seen fairly recently, but not Tesla. Where you been, Tesla? iWord, what's up, buddy? You can't run KSA. What's up? Why are you having issues? Just out of curiosity. iWord, it's got. I'll just say it's got a long way to go. It is just a tech demo, right? For the most part. iWord, are you like getting into the settings at all, or is it not even loading in? Because I will tell you this, it takes a lot of video memory. Like, it takes a lot of VRAM. So are you trying to load in the whole solar system? No, okay, so when you first, before it even starts loading, it asks you, what do you want to load in? Right? Try loading in just Earth. Dyslexic, you looking for a job? Dude. Do not envy you, man. Yeah, I know that feeling well. Way too well. Nothing loads. I would try uninstalling it and reinstalling it and see if that works. Right, and Iward, are you in the KSA Discord? And then you can also see if anybody else is having, issues, because those are some of the things that they want to discover as they go along. I mean, they may not necessarily be a high priority fix, because if it's about optimization, optimization happens way later in the development pipeline. Tessa, yeah, I still prefer 1/4 real scale. 1/4 real scale seems like perfect. Yeah, but if they go with the 1/4 real scale, I'll be happy, because before they were talking about Kerbal scale, and that's, like vanilla Kerbal scale, and it's. Oh yeah, branch third. Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah. NVIDIA. Okay. But yeah, if you have an AMD GPU, they're definitely having some issues. Oh, I pulled us out of time warp. All right, somebody just joining us. We loaded in. We landed this rocket in the ocean, and then we took off from the ocean of Earth and put it back into orbit, and then we did a transfer to the moon, which is what we're executing right now. Right, we're on our way to the moon from Earth. Hey, Earth. Earth is way over there. Yeah, Daishi's parts are definitely outstanding. I haven't seen him in a while, but Dashi used to be like a regular in chat all the time. ASE Homeworld, Earth. I like it, MGB. Earth. They better not goddamn name it Meow. Or perfect. I'll take a long walk off a short pier later. Yeah, I'll probably circularize at PE. And then we'll slowly bring the orbit down. I wonder how you tell it, like, where you, if you've flipped spheres of influence. I don't even know how they handle spheres of influence. I'm pretty sure they're doing different spheres of influence between different gravitational bodies. Like in Kerbal, it's pretty obvious, the nav ball flips, the camera flips. MGB, you've put way too much thought into that. Aki, what's going on, man? Onka, what'd you run into? All right, I'm gonna go back to real time here. Yeah, instead of snacks, you get catnip. We're gonna be in pretty high altitude over the moon. That's more. No gantries, just large cat trees. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It does flip the nav ball, but it does not stop time warp. Okay, so now we need to set up F4. I want to circularize at periapsis. Create. I just lost that window. Right, put it in auto. Windy Skunk, what's up, buddy? Do the try doing the recircularization, burn, and time warp. Well, I can warp to the maneuver. Yeah, it's going bonkers with the RCS system. It's gonna pull me out of time warp. Yeah, it's slowly backing us out of time warp. There it goes. All right, we are 10 seconds from periapsis. All right, we've passed periapsis. Are you gonna... There it goes. I was gonna say, you gonna burn? All right, we are in the orbit of Moon. %5 throttle still gives us TWR 4.1. All right, this is going to take us down to 20 kilometers. Oh yeah, that's 20,000. Right? Yes, okay. Last Cat, what's going on? How you doing? Delete the burn node. Where do you do that? Delete. You can't use RCS. All right, I brought our periapsis down to 2,200 kilometers. All right, so now let's go ahead and set up another burn. Circularize at periapsis. Create. Auto. Warp. Persistent rotation. How you card? How you doing? All right, so anybody just joining us, we landed on the surface of Earth in the ocean somewhere. I flipped this right side up, and then we executed a maneuver burn to transfer us to the moon. Right, we just arrived at the moon, and I am setting up another. We just set up another maneuver to circularize closer to the moon's surface, and we'll be doing this again because I set us up here to come in at about 2,200 kilometers over the surface of the moon. Because their apoapsis right now is like 540 or 54,000 kilometers. So I'm bringing us way down. I'm liking the automated burn process. Buzzcat, too early to say. Right, it's really not a game yet. Like, I mean, it's still definitively tech demo stage. All right, delete that. All right, I'm going to drop our periapsis down to 100 kilometers. Oh, that's too slow. With RCS here the rest of the way. All right, 100 kilometers. All right, so now we're going to do another circularized periapsis maneuver. Create auto. I still really do hope, though, that they keep the real solar system as an option. All right, I'm going to warp us to our next position. We're falling down here to 100 kilometers over the surface of the moon. Oh, do you see the Earthrise? That Earthrise is going to be really spectacular. Here's Earth. Apollo 12 landmark. Interesting. We have to look at this in the map view here in a minute. I wonder what else they have. I'm sure there'll be a mod for it at some point, but I would like for it to be an actual, you know, built-in option. All right, so we have lowered our orbit down to 100 kilometers over 98 kilometers, roughly. So what I'm looking at is the information over here. If anybody's curious, that's the information I'm looking at. All right, so there's an Apollo 12 landmark down there, Copernicus crater. We got to come back around to the sun side. All right, I guess that's the Apollo 12 landing site, the Apollo 14 landing site. Ptolemy's crater. The flashing, I'm guessing it's stars coming, you know, over the horizon. I'm not sure. I think it's not intended. Well, there's the Apollo 11 landmark, but I guess we're not going to be landing there because it's flipping
Dark.
Ascendi crater. Agrinas crater. Batavius crater. Alucard, no, I tried to mess with it. It won't work with OBS running. OBS can't, because it creates another window, and OBS can't figure this shit out. All right, how far are we from daylight? Okay, we're coming up on it. Diram Gui. Well, so far, Alucard, the soundtrack is pretty good, and it's an original soundtrack. Oh, F2 is hide UI. Just if you're not aware. All right, I want to flip this back. I think we need to get closer. MG, not a thing. You guys want to get closer? Let's get closer. All right, I'm gonna take us down to 50 kilometers. All right, let's see Earth come up over the horizon. Yeah, Earth. There it is. Earth rise. NGB, yeah, whatever system they have already developed for this is light years ahead of SAS. GoBot! What's up, GoBot? Now, somebody just coming in once again. We landed on the. We took the rocket out of orbit. Right, we landed it. Well, we landed it in the ocean somewhere on Earth, and then I launched it back up into orbit of Earth, and then we did a maneuver to transfer out here to the moon. And then we've been slowly just lowering our orbit down here at moon. At the moon. We've completed one full orbit now because there's the Apollo 12 landmark. All right, we saw that when we first arrived. All right, so let's go ahead and warp. Again here towards sunrise. So we can actually see something. I want to be... facing backwards. You debug, show flight computer debug. I wonder why null rotation always puts you in star relative mode. All right, let's just enjoy the cinematic experience. Oh, that's right. There are. Well, I was using that one. Yeah. Okay. That's why. Okay. I'll get there eventually. I have no idea what crater this is, but I'm thinking about we might land there next orbit around. And this is from 50 kilometers up. We're currently in a 50-kilometer orbit over the moon. Wondering how they do the maps, like the height maps. Edward, you just stop. I'm waiting for Earthrise. I don't want to time warp too fast past it. Is that a planet or a star out there, is it? Mars? Can't tell. And speaking of, I wonder how crazy this thing gets if you do an automated maneuver to Mars and say warp to maneuver. Or any of the planets, rather. Because that's a long way to go. And gee, I don't think it's an actual skybox either, not like in the Kerbal sense. I think these are real stars and constellations. All right, we're coming up on Earthrise. Currently, you can. The game breaks if you try to leave the solar system. I already did that. There we go. I should change the field of view here even smaller for this. Let's go down to like 35. Let's go 30. Oh, that's not... Oh, come on. Really? You screenshot all the damn windows? There we go. Osama! Word up, buddy! Oh, yeah, I just use Discord. Same thing, I just use Discord. What is the default? What does it look like if you go... Wow, I go up to 120 degrees. What does that look like, even? Oh, yeah, that's gonna get all crazy fish-eyed. Even at 90 is too much. And it resets all this. Dang it. All right, you guys want to get closer? Let's get closer. All right, flip me retrograde orbital velocity. I'll leave these big. This makes it easier for to read on the stream. All right, so I'm going to use RCS here to lower us down. I'm going to drop us to 20 kilometers altitude. Yeah, yeah, because if it works with the real solar system, it'll definitely work with a downscale version. All right, let's do that. All right, we're going to circularize at periapsis, create that maneuver, auto, and warpus. I'm doing half the maneuvering manually, the other half using the planner. All right, 30 seconds out from periapsis. Yeah, I wonder if there's a gamma increase somewhere. Let's take a look after this maneuver. Just out of curiosity. Boy, it did a whole bunch of stuff there all at once. All right, so let's delete that. Close that out. All right, graphics. Oh, it's using Vulkan. On map gamma. I'm guessing this is the setting to change, maybe. All right, it's 2x2. 2.2 is default. Let's change. Oh, that's 200. I don't want 200. Why is it moving with a mouse click? Oh, it's a slider. No, don't be a slider. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, that's ugly. Uh-oh. I can't get that menu back because it resized everything and moved everything around. I can't get it back. Shit biscuits. I think I just broke the game. Now I can't do anything. Oh, okay. I was stuck in the other window. So there is a window, it just I can't get to it to reset the gamma. So that is not necessarily the setting we actually wanted to change, but I can't get to it. I can kind of see it pop up for a second. But when I applied this change setting, it resized all the windows, and now the window is out of frame. No, I can't alt tab to it. Oh wait, maybe. Yes. Okay. And I closed it out. Yep, now all this has got to get resized yet again. Because it's flipping gargantuan. Yeah, it's still, I have to alt tab to it. And I have to actually hold down alt tab to get over to it. I can't just alt tab and hop to it. I have to hold down and select it. Alright, I closed it out. Alright, we're just gonna have to deal with it being flippin' dark. Yeah, but borderless can sometimes cause issues, other issues with OBS. I didn't have any of those issues until OBS. But this is my first time trying to stream this, so... Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh. Why does it not always take the screenshot that I'm wanting to take? It is, isn't it? With the shadows and everything? I mean, I want to land here. What do you think? Land here in this crater? We'll wait till we come around to the next orbit, though. Sun still needs some work, that's for sure. It always works because it's a known quantity, right? All right, I want to flip this thing down. Let it rotate around. Now, if anybody asks, no, there's no IVA views or any of that stuff yet. All right, null that rotation. Wait, is that Mars? I think Mars is below the horizon. It's going to be directly below the sun relative to us. But I'm wondering if that one thing that I thought was thought might be Mars is Mars or not. Earth is way over there. All right, should be above the horizon by now. Maybe? I'm not sure if you can see that or not. There's something red right there, just slightly above the horizon, right above my arrow. I'm pretty sure that's Mars. Right, because there's Mars. I'm pretty sure that's Mars. I'm better than the Space Force? You know it, baby. MGB, I've been reluctant to install that because mod author reasons. I'm pretty sure the older version still works. All right, so we'll do one more Earthrise at 20 kilometers altitude. And then I'm thinking we're going to land in that first crater. We're doing the proposed Gemini Mars mission, or Mars mission, Gemini Moon mission. God, that would have sucked. Well, I don't know. They did the long-term missions with Gemini. Wasn't the longest Gemini mission something like 16 days? Didn't they do a 16-day Gemini mission? Which is crazy, right? I mean, that would be like two people stuck in the front seat of a 1970s Honda Accord. That's kind of cool. The camera still kind of does that. And there doesn't need to appear to be a time warp limit close to the surface. Dyslexic, what do you mean hear the recordings? You guys don't hear the music? That's more 14 days? It was somewhere around there. Really? No music? Why is it not capturing the music? Hold on, let me turn this up then. Maybe that's what it is? All right, I maxed out the volume. Do you hear the music now? Problem is, if I light up the engine, you're gonna go deaf. Because now I have the volume mixer in OBS maxed out. Well, I'm gonna do an RCS burn and tell me how loud it is, because I listen through a different channel, so and I have different volume, separate volume control, so. How does that sound? Like, is it too noisy when I do the RCS? Well, that's just the RCS. That was a preliminary test. It's a good balance. Well, the weird part is because, like, I have to test the volume in every single application, like meaning like game or anything I show, because otherwise, they're never on the same level. All right, we should be coming up on Earthrise here one more time. That's what, yeah, it's ridiculous. Everybody say, hi, Earth. Like in vanilla KSP, Moon is way too close to Kerbin. All right, so let's go ahead and time warp a little more. What are you doing? What's with all the shit bouncing around? It's a nearly a full Earth. All right, there's a Earth set. And then we're gonna, just because of the dramatic lighting, we're gonna land it here, right here in this crater. Retro, please. 13.1 G burn. Well, no, actually 2.18, sorry. G's relative to moon. I don't want to land in this dark area here. And down we go. Our RCS is not even slowing us down. We're still accelerating. So the RCS cannot overcome Moon's gravity. And now there is no music, just so you know. Oh, was that, how loud was that? I forgot to ask. How loud was that engine? Well, that says 0. We're clearly not at 0. Well, typical Kerbal landing on the moon. Well, we're kinda sorta on the surface of the moon. The volume is fine even with the rocket engine? Okay. Good to know. Alright, perfectly good. Landing. And why does it do that? Every time. Yeah, flat moon confirmed. Actually, the surface of the moon would look pretty flat from the surface. Yep, and colliders confirmed aligned. Yes. All right, let's see if I can't. Oh, I want, yeah, radial out. Okay, radial in then. Up. I broke it. Yep, I think we're stuck. What was the landing procedure? Clinch. It was the landing procedure. Just clinch. Well, whatever we did, this thing is no longer moving. I think we can leave it here, actually. Right? Yeah. Oh, anybody wants to see the kittens that have not seen it already? This is Hunter. Everybody say hello to Hunter. Who follows you around with his eyeballs. Looking kind of creepy. But there's Hunter. Hunter is over the deserts of... coming up on Cairo. So he's somewhere over the deserts of northern Africa. Yep, I Austin powered it. Austin powered it. Austin Powers? Yeah. Deorbit him? Maybe. I have a feeling that, yeah, changing his orbital speed is... yeah, it would take forever to deorbit him. With just RCS. It is working now, but I have a feeling we're going to come down on the night side. Yep, he's gonna land in the desert. Or in the night side. Alright. He's not gonna land and land. You guys just want to see him walk around. Well, that is going to be a steep re-entry, man. From 300 kilometers up. I'm really curious how many G's he's going to hit during re-entry. Astronaut. Alucard, kinda, sorta. There's drag. Atmo. The Kitten line. And you'll see his impact point is going to start moving really quickly. Might as well look and see where you're going. Looking at the wrong thing. I need it for him. Yep, he's pulling 7.5 G's. Almost 8 G's now. All right, 8 G's. He's pulling 8 G's of deceleration. And he's coming down in the water. That's right. You ought to see the G-forces that Gemini, or not Gemini, but Mercury pulled. Mercury is like 16 G's. Suborbital flights are bad on re-entry Gs. Yeah, we're somewhere off the coast of Indonesia or something. Yep, 41 kilometers up. What altitude did Felix Baumgartner jump from again? How many kilometers up? Wasn't this high. Madagascar? Yeah. Oh yeah, just flying back over to New Zealand. 80 kilometers, you think? Was it 80 kilometers? I know he broke the sound. I know he broke the speed of sound in free fall. He's the only human, I believe, still to do it, have done it. Drag must be pretty high, because, his speed, you know, as we're dropping down now, his speed is coming down quite a bit. "28 kilometers. "20 kilometers. Well, coming up on 12 kilometers here. So this is airliner level. Right, 10 to 12 kilometers is airliner level. Let's have him flip around so that he's looking into the sun. Yeah, it was 40 kilometers, okay. Well, same developers would, you know, make sense that they borrow some sound effects. All right, 10 kilometers. I don't really think I can affect his impact point at this point. Figure out which is which, because he has separate rotation and translation are not there. The keys are separated. It's like docking mode in Kerbal if you've ever used it. I never used docking mode. Still supersonic though. We're kind of locked in at 462 meters a second. All right, 5 kilometers up. He's definitely coming down in the water no matter what. He's still moving it. He's starting to slow down a little bit. Kilometers up, and he's still supersonic. Yeah, he's not slowing down anymore. I'm not holding anything down anymore. Why is he still firing? Uh-oh. I think I broke something. He's not stopping his RCS thrusters. And that can't be right. That's got to be the rotational speed. This velocity cannot be that. We're moving way too slow for that. I don't know what that's... That can't be right. Obviously isn't. And now his RCS broke. Try and switch into a different vessel, see if it'll work. Yep, there we go. Well, we got waves. He's surfing! Dude, they better get surfboards, right? The kittens, they better get surfboards. Well, yeah, it's Tesla, it's BlackRock. Surfboards. Right, Kerbal's got golf clubs. I want surfboards for the kittens. It doesn't want to take a screenshot. There it goes. Maki, there already is one. I saw screenshots earlier. Somebody had already modded in Kerbals. I mean, yeah, come on. You know that wasn't going to take long. All right, so what do you guys think so far? Not necessarily with what you can do or not do yet, but just your impressions of what is there already. I mean, remember, and they're only a year in, right? And they're working on the hard stuff first, getting all the stuff that Kerbal had tried to figure out later after adding all the other stuff. Booyah, yeah, it is very VRAM limited, or and VRAM hungry. I'm sure at some point that'll be corrected. Just for the time being, though, especially this early in development, it's going to be a pretty performance optimization isn't even probably on their design plan yet. You card on some of the stuff. The part that they are or they're not reinventing it, but the parts that they are really improving on is the game engine itself, right? By doing a game engine framework and then building out the different plugins, right, or modules for the framework, right, for what they want to for customization purposes of what they want to do. Right, so this will not have the same limitations as KSP1 based on Unity, right? Because KSP1 is limited to what Unity can do as a game engine, where this, they can expand it out and manipulate and kind of do things the way they want to be able to do it. So on that side, it's going to be fairly, pretty big deal. I'm sure that'll probably come around. Yeah, but yeah, I would rather have that information on the nav ball, because doing it this way, there's not really much to do with the nav ball. The I word, it's not, that's the thing though, it's not the entire engine. It's literally just the framework and a couple of plugins so far, with more to come. And obviously they'll likely use this, they'll use the same setup for other games, right? On, you know, under the Rocketworks umbrella, you know, Icarus 2, Stationeers 2, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be mostly based on, you know, what they were expecting in contributions, right? And as I said, KSP2 did not help, right? I mean, that's a kind of a big slap in the face, you know, to this style of game in general, right? Even though this is unrelated to KSP2, right? You know, it still hit them. And we'll probably mess around with this again from time to time. I still want to go to Mars. I mean, we can jump there to look at it. Right, and the music restarts. But yeah, there's Olympus Mons. I do want to jump to Mars. I don't think Venus is here. Oh, speaking of Mars, they do have Phobos and Deimos, which are kind of cool looking. I mean, when I say come to Mars, I would like to visit Phobos and Deimos. Deimos isn't there, right? But Phobos, you'll see a lot of the bodies have this. No textures. Oh, Venus is there. Yeah, so maybe next time we'll go to Mars and Venus. Yeah, some of the bodies aren't there, like Mercury, not there. It's there, but not there. There's no textures for it. Right, same with like Ceres. A lot of the bodies are just this, just placeholders. Yep, and then Jupiter. I have no idea what happens if you enter Jupiter. We'll find out, I guess, next time. And by the way, I do believe the bands are actually animated, right? You can kind of start to see it. And they want to add more depth to some of the cloud layers. And I don't know why, but Jupiter always like shows like white, kind of like whited out a little bit. But when you see like pictures from Juno and whatnot, you know, Jupiter's got, you know, brilliant colors. So I don't know if it's because they're, you know, NASA's color correcting the images or not, but Jupiter always looks like kind of washed out like this. Supposedly Jupiter does have clouds. I haven't been there yet. Venus has an atmosphere, so I'm assuming maybe. Right, when we just looked at Venus. So it's got an atmosphere. Whether or not it has clouds, I don't know. Right, yeah, some of them don't. Like, you know, if we go to Uranus. Oh, Uranus has something. It's not a white ball. Yeah, see, like Pluto or Charon are just, you know, place marker balls. Io. Io has textures. Saturn has textures, but no rings. But just because it has textures doesn't necessarily mean it has clouds or anything like that. I don't know. We won't know until we go look closer. What about Titan? Titan has something, I guess. Hey man, you thought this game was a joke? What? Why is that? The whole kitten thing? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna... They need to come up with something better than kittens, I think. That's... yeah. I mean, as one of the developers says, kittens were the least bad choice. Remember though that this is just a test system. They're using a real solar system just for testing purposes, right? That they're going to actually create a fictional solar system, well, our star system. Solar is specific to our sun, but a fictional star system. But yeah, Matt, it's real. If you want to try it, type in !KSA, and it'll give you the download link. You can try it for free. Right? It's really just a tech demo right now, not anything really more than that. I would, yes, but I think the issue is, like, one of the reasons they used Kerbals for Kerbal Space Program is they knew you were gonna make a whole lot of mystery goo out of the Kerbals, right? When you're learning, right? Because it divorces. It's a mental thing that divorces you from making, you know, paste. Tesla, yes, I agree. However, I mean, the Kerbals also add a lot of charm. Right, the Kerbals add a lot of charm to KSP, right? So if you look at like Simple Rockets 2, which is now called what's Simple Rockets 2 now called? They call it something else. I'd have to look in Steam to see what it's called. Right, Juno New Origins, that's what it is. Right, they actually have a humanoid or humans type of thing, but it doesn't have any of the charm that KSP had. And as I said, once again, if anyone wants to give us a shot themselves, right, there's the download link right there. Right, you're not obligated to contribute. Right, you can try it out and then decide if you want to contribute or not. Yeah. They got rid of everything that was fun. I have Juno New Origins, but last time I messed with it, it was still called Simple Rockets 2. And I just... You You blow up a lot of humans and stationaries. Yeah, they could just use the real solar system and just make them like little dinosaurs. Problem is, they wanted something that was very simple to animate. They didn't want to get lost in the animations. Right, that's the other issue, is they wanted something very simple to animate. Honestly, I think they should use what's the lizard or the dinosaur race, the intelligent dinosaur race from Doctor Who? What are those guys called? The Ceruleans? But yeah, come up with like the Ceruleans. It could be like an alternate history. It could be, spacefaring dinosaurs. Or lizards or something. Yeah, or even robots. Right? Like 1950s style robots. Right? Simple to animate. Come on. We know we want to send
Wally.
to space. Nighthawk, I did, and it flipped over. And I can't get it to flip back. It's kind of stuck. It's the Indian dinosaur, right? Well, it can't be from Star Trek, though. Right? It can't be from a major anything. Right? I guess you could kind of do it loose enough to get away with it. Like even the Ceruleans from Doctor Who, it can't be the Ceruleans as in a, type of thing, but yeah. Oh, it could be just space elves. But yeah, and just in case, if you haven't seen... Where's Hunter? Oh, it's nighttime for Hunter. That's why. Not just surfing in the water. Hold on. Time warping. There we go. Alright, can you, turn around? Oh, none of his RCS works anymore. I wonder if he's out of propellant, because, it got stuck on. Yep, nope. I can't move him anymore. But yeah, the not Voth. Yeah, the not Voth. Yeah, just grab, the Voth or the Ceruleans and just file off the serial numbers. But yeah, as I said, they're trying to come up with something that's easy to animate. Right, because they don't want to have to spend a whole bunch of time doing animations. Right, but this is Hunter. This is one of the space kittens. And if you notice, it's kind of creepy. His eyeballs follow the camera. So he's always looking at you. But yeah, he needs a surfboard. That sunrise, though. And yeah, he's in the water, but he's kind of broke. I broke him. Space turtles? Yeah. Why not? Somebody made them ninjas. Let's make them turtle knots. Yeah, space sloths. It would just be too difficult to pronounce. Sloth. Space sloth. Yeah, meerkats. Oh, it's not weird antenna. It's the wiring harness after separating from the upper stage. It's not an antenna, it's a wiring harness. And there was a Donatello mission patch with a Ninja Turtle in a spacesuit. Hey, yeah, that works. Teenage Mutant Space Turtles. And Huck, that's a good question. Alright, so we might mess around with this every now and then. There's really not, I mean, we've already done like 90% of what you can do. I mean, there's a couple other places we could go, but as far as what's available for what you can do, we've already done like 90% of it. Like, I wasn't even sure I would get 2 hours out of this, and we got 3. So I'm kind of surprised at that, right? And we landed on the surface of Earth in the water, right? Redirected the craft upwards, right? And we actually launched from Earth back up into orbit, and then we launched from Earth orbit to the moon, right? We captured around the moon, kept lowering our orbits down a little bit by little bit to just look at different things, you know, including Earthrise a couple times, and then we landed on the surface of the moon, which is how this happened. I was trying to flip the rocket over to see if we could take off again, because I was going to see if we can't jump from moon to Mars. Well, I stuck in it, and, you know, it...
Lawn dart.
Maki, I'm sure we'll get a couple different parts added in. Right, they are working on it. There is actually a simple part editor with this. I can't get it to work. Right, especially not with OBS, because it creates a new window, and the OBS can't tell the difference between the new window and the game. All right, and once again, if you want to try this out for yourself, do note though that this is pretty VRAM heavy, and if you have an AMD video card, it is not going to like it. Right, there's some issues with AMD video cards, and it does use up a pretty decent amount of VRAM currently. Right, but if you can, you know, check it out. You're not obligated to contribute. Right, you can try it out first to see if you want to contribute. You know, or wait a while to see where it's going with the program, right? But make sure you also join the KSA Discord. The link for that is also on that same link. You'll have a link to the KSA Discord to give your feedback, right? Your wish list of stuff, which it is already bonkers with what so many people want to see, right? Basically, everybody wants KSP 1 with more parts and more places to go, which I find interesting, because I think when Squad last time they did their stats, less than 5% of players of Kerbal Space Program have ever been to the moon, or have ever been further than the moon, I should say. Only 5% of the people that play Kerbal have ever been beyond the moon. Like, and that includes Minmus. I find that crazy. All right, but boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Rocketeers all, I think that is gonna... Oh, I'm not even gonna be able to get out of this. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. That is gonna do it for me this evening. We're doing a little bit of a shorter stream today. I wanted to check this out yesterday, but once I started getting everything set up for the stream, my batteries were just... I was like, man, I need a day. You don't want KSP 1, you want No Man's Sky universe with KSP mechanics and procedural parts. I don't want all parts procedural. Right, I kind of like the way I have like my modded KSP setup right now is using tweak scale to be able to fine tune a few things, but I don't necessarily know if I want all parts to be procedural. Some parts it makes a little bit more sense. You know, rocket core tanks type of thing, wings maybe. Wings, yeah. Depending on what you're doing. I still wish there's different base wing types, and then you manipulate them from there. Right, and I do hope that KSP has, or I mean, KSA gets much more advanced aero, right? Because you know me, I like my airplanes. You know, I want to be able to do airplanes in KSA. All right, so tomorrow we're going to be back to episode 10 of our KSP1 modded career. I don't know who this is, but somebody else is actually doing some Kitten Space Agency. So hopefully he's not too much of a unusual dude, because you know when it comes to Twitch, right? Some streamers, well, all streamers, you have to be unusual to be a streamer on Twitch. Let's face it, right? You cannot be normal and stream on Twitch. It just isn't a thing. If you're normal, you're gonna have exactly 0 viewers. You have to be abnormal. KPA Kitten Plate Agency, yes. All right, but once again, tomorrow we'll be back to episode 10. I did want to slow down a little bit on Kerbal Space Program because some people have been trying to catch up on YouTube to see, you know, with where we're at, you know, because I was putting the episodes out pretty fast. And that's because the next 2 weeks, starting this Thursday, Star Citizen is having its major annual event, its largest annual event. It's International Aerospace Expo 2955. That's the year in the game. Right, so it is, we'll be doing a lot of that as well. And that's what, yeah, the mod author, Galen is the mod author of that, right? The one Galen. Or is it a different one for the X1? Yeah. Yeah, he linked it a couple of days ago. I just kept forgetting to download it. All right, but you guys have a great morning, great night, great afternoon, great whatever it is, where it may be. We're going to drop in with somebody else here doing some KSA so we get more than just my opinion on it. And I recommend watching, you know, several different people take a look at it because, you know, everybody's going to have a different, you know, idea or thoughts on it. Right, so different perspectives. All right, so here we go. We're going to raid this Mark Roy guy, our person. All right. Once again, thank you, everybody, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
100,000, right? It'd be kind of entering atmosphere. You wouldn't really notice until well below 100,000. Oh, wow, we're getting a big raid coming on in right now. Holy smokes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting a raid from Rocketology. Holy cow, 24 people coming on in. Welcome to Kitten Space Agency, which I'm sure you've already seen yourself. But yeah, we're just kind of fooling around Earth right now. We're gonna land in North America. I'm not that far away from the stream being done, but just kind of seeing what everything looks like. I want to see actually at sunset what things would look like. Oh gosh. Okay, well, I didn't want to land in the dark, and I think I was going to land in the dark, so. But yeah, we are playing around, having a grand old time. Thank you, Rocketology, so much. Coming in Horts, oh yeah. Troll Surma, welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the moon, yeah, we went to the moon as well, and then we looked at a couple of other bodies separately. We didn't home and transfer to them, but we just looked. And I didn't realize each planet has different music, which is really nice. Okay, let's just impact and see what happens. I'm supposed to be... Oh, I am on retrograde. Let's see what happens. I'm just kind of fooling around. We had a follow come on in a second ago. Who was that? Rocketology with the follow. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, there is no effects confirmed. Okay. Well, you can hear stuff. Are we gonna blow up? Let's see. I doubt we're gonna blow up, but who knows? No, no, we're not blown up. We would have blown up by now if we, yeah. But we're gonna land somewhere in like the desert, close to sunset. I'm on orbit velocity retrograde, but I think I'll just go surface up at this rate. Oh wow, this is just such an epic game, I have to be honest. Even in pre-alpha so far. Just drag with some aero noises.